Al Jazeera Podcasts.
I'm David Enders, and this is The Take. As Israel's war on Gaza, Lebanon, and Syria continues, we're coming to you on Sundays with a weekly roundup. This week, 9 days into a ceasefire, Israel has killed at least 38 Palestinians in Gaza. Palestinians and Israelis celebrated the return of family and friends as captives and prisoners were exchanged. Israel continued to violate its ceasefire with Hezbollah in Lebanon. Today is Sunday, October 19. Israel has killed more than 68,116 Palestinians in Gaza since October 7, 2023. Israel remains in control of more than 50% of the Gaza Strip, and on Friday killed 11 members of a family it said had crossed what it calls the Yellow Line. But as Al Jazeera's Hind reported on Saturday, it's extremely difficult for Palestinians to determine where that line is.
So we're now in the southern parts of Deir al-Balah. We're supposed to be a couple of meters away from the so-called yellow line, the invisible yellow line, the imaginary yellow line, where there's no sign that there's a yellow line, there's no a flag, for example, there's no cautious sign. So Palestinians do not know where the yellow line exactly is. Palestinians have been killed as they went to check up on their houses and also to live back in their houses where they did not know that this line is separating between death and life, where this is another death drop by the Israeli forces.
This week, Hamas exchanged 20 Israeli captives for nearly 2,000 Palestinians held in Israeli prisons. On Tuesday in Gaza, Al Jazeera correspondent Ibrahim al-Khalili welcomed home one of those prisoners, his brother, Mohammed.
He's my brother. He's back after 1 year and 7 months in detention, in Israeli detention after torture. We got detained with each other, but now I got released, and now after 1 year and 7 months, he's back again home.
How was the situation in prison after they detained you?
It was a big struggle. We were beaten and humiliated. We suffered a lot, but thank God it's all over now.
Now my brother is so tired. He needs to be back home again. But I can now say the war has really came to an end.
Israel continues to block the opening of the Rafah crossing, which connects Gaza to Egypt and is the main entry point for badly needed aid. Israel says it is waiting for Hamas to return all 28 bodies of deceased captives in Gaza. Hamas says it needs more time to locate 16 bodies believed buried under rubble, as well as the heavy equipment to do so. Al Jazeera's Tareq Azzoum reported.
The Israeli militaries are still controlling the Palestinian side of the borders, and they also insist of blocking any kind of restoration for normal operations or even handing the control to the Palestinian Authority. And this has been seen locally as a diplomatic and military move that is taken by Israel to show more political leverage regarding potential ceasefire arrangements, and we started to see a floating approach regarding the Rafah crossing, as Israel is trying to link the reopening of Rafah crossing with the full handover of the Israeli deceased captives and the bodies to the Israeli side, despite the full agreement that was brokered in Sharm el-Sheikh between Hamas and Israel. And we have got a statement from Gaza's government media office condemning the Israeli delay of reopening Rafah crossing, given the scale of need at the moment on the ground for evacuating critically wounded patients and also to allow for more aid to flow into the Strip.
Israel bombed Lebanon multiple times this week in some of the heaviest strikes since a ceasefire with Hezbollah took effect last November. The UN says Israel has killed more than 108 civilians in Lebanon since then. Al Jazeera's Zeina Khodr reported from South Lebanon, where Israel has carried out a concerted campaign to prevent residents from returning, including building bases on occupied Lebanese land.
There's a new reality along the border between Israel and Lebanon. Up to 10 square kilometers of Lebanese territory is now considered occupied. There's little presence of the Lebanese army and the state in what was once Hezbollah's stronghold, but there's also no sign of life in an area once home to tens of thousands of people, and many now fear they may never return to their homes.
And that's The Take for Sunday, October 19. Please join us again tomorrow. This episode was produced by me, David Enders. Our sound designer is Alex Roldan. Alexandra Locke is The Take's executive producer, and Ney Alvarez is Al Jazeera's head of audio.